Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And yes, today we're going to be taking another deep dive into Ripple and XRP. Has Ripple been blocked by China? How's the Federal Reserve looking at Ripple? All of that is going to be covered with, of course, much more. So make sure you watch this video all the way through so you don't miss out on anything important. Also, guys, we are still doing our 50 XRP giveaway, and if you want to enter, all you have to do is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. And if we hit 500 likes, we're giving that away today. Having said that, guys, let's get over into our part 3 of the series. Now, I think this is going to be the last part, because, I've kind of used all the info that I wanted to give you. But make sure you watch the other 2 videos first before watching this one so you have the full picture. You don't have to, though. It's not necessary, but it would be rather beneficial. However, let's just go on. It's been my mission throughout my career to democratize access to areas of finance that typically disenfranchise average people and widen the poverty gap globally. I think we've already started out here with a very powerful quote. A very powerful statement, and I think you guys already know who it came from. It came from Chris Larsen in his letter to us when he resigned as the CEO of Ripple to become the executive chairman of the board. This is all the way back in November of 2016 when he showed us this. Now, all right, straight off the bat, what does this show us? Well, we know at least part of Ripple's main mission, right? We know it is to build the Internet of Value, which we'll get to in a second. We also know then that they want to give real normal just people a better life and a better time. Another part, though, widen the poverty gap globally. Wait, that sounds a little bit strange. Widen the poverty gap? It's been my mission throughout my career to democratize access to areas of finance that typically disenfranchise average people and widen. They want to fix that, all right? For a second here, I thought he wanted to widen the poverty gap. I was like, maybe I got this all wrong, but no. He wants to kind of close it down, or at least make it more accessible to just the average folk, make things more normal, and then again, close that poverty gap that's going around right now, which kind of confirms our further theories about XRP Global Reserve, XRP debt, getting rid of debt through XRP and things like that. However, moving forward, from mortgages to personal loans to payments, personal loans, kind of interesting. This personal loan system is recurring more and more often, as we all know by now that Chris Larsen has been busy with loans from, I guess, 1996 or even earlier. He's been working on loans, so that's not something new. Yet again, pretty interesting to think about. And the fact that mortgages is what that article, again, what Chris Larsen has done in the past, is referring to, is kind of interesting. I see the connection there, and I know they made it for that specific reason. And to payments, again, we know Ripple is working on payments. Ripple and its digital asset XRP present an opportunity to fundamentally change how we move money around the world in a way that will make payments more global and afford people cheaper, faster, more transparent ways to send money anywhere. The bottom line is this: Internet of Value will improve lives. And of course, I had to dive a little bit deeper into what does this Internet of Value really mean for all of us. I talked about it a little bit in part 1, but let me quickly get back to that statement plus a little bit extra. First of all, here we're talking about a system right now, right? The current payment system that is flawed. Why? Because an international payment takes like 3 to 5 days and has an error rate of at least 5%, and even an average cost of $42. It's pretty damn dumb if you think about it. Right now, worldwide, there are $180 trillion worth of cross-border payments made every year, with a combined cost of more than $1.7 trillion a year. With the Internet of Value, a value transaction such as foreign currency payment can happen instantly, just as how people have been sharing words, images, and videos online for decades. And it's not just money. The Internet of Value will enable the exchange of any asset that is of value to someone, including stocks, votes, frequent flyer points, securities, IP or intellectual property, ILP, music, scientific discoveries, and more. Again, this Internet of Value, or I guess Ripple's new world creation, is not no small feat. What they're building here is meant to revolutionize the whole world. You guys get that, right? I mean, if you're able to handle votes this way, just think about what the possibilities of that are and how far that can get. Just think about it. Together with that, though, here's Ripple's vision for the second era of the internet. Basically, a phase 2 for the internet. At Ripple, we believe the most significant benefit of the Internet of Value will be for payments. Logical, because that's really Ripple's main focus at this point as well. We provide one frictionless experience to send money globally using the power of blockchain. Making cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and reliable will bring major benefits to consumers, businesses, banks, and governments, while also introducing a standard protocol for how every institution and individual connects across various networks to exchange data. Did you guys read it right there as well? So at this point here, making cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and reliable will bring major benefits to consumers, businesses, banks, and governments. Now, a couple of facts we know. First off, Ripple is working with governments around the world. They are. There's just no way around it. But they're also even willing to work on creating a CBDC. That sounds kind of strange, right? I'm talking about them really having the option open to help out the US to create a proper CBDC, or at least a proper framework for the CBDC, or things along those lines. We know Ripple is on a level to help out governments. We know that. There's no question. We know consumers can be helped out. We know businesses. Banks, I think anybody can get that one as well. They are. But the fact that Ripple is really at every sector of the game kind of makes our whole statement here of, again, Ripple being at the bottom of the sector, or of the plan, sometimes not as true anymore. Why? Because literally Ripple has, on this end here, so much influence in all of these points. The only fact is they really, what they really do is only operate on the bottom 3. This one they can also operate on. I guess even this one they could operate on. They won't though. Not yet at least. Maybe eventually they will. But if you talk about Ripple's potential, they could also help out with the top 2 layers even more and really get in there. The only question is, will they want to compete like that? And we don't know just about that quite yet. What would this do though? Doing this will connect billions of people around the world to transact. Again, some have been saying new world order, things like that. I'm not really talking about that here. I'm talking about connecting our world. Will we all agree on the fact that the world right now is pretty divided in some way, shapes, or forms? Yes, I think so. This, or at least making payments quote-unquote free, or almost free, nearly free and nearly instant, would definitely help out connecting people around the world. Give rise to entirely new businesses and industries. With that, also empowering the small to medium enterprises, helping give power to the smaller guys, the smaller fries, the guys that are trying to build and come up, instead of just the rich guys with the too big to fill type of attitudes. That's not what Ripple has. That's not what they're building on. That's not what they're going all for. And increase financial inclusion for millions of underbanked consumers, and unbanked, of course, as well. We believe this process of standardization will have a transformative impact on our world, comparable to the way the shipping container standardized commerce in 1950s and drove globalization, or how the standardization of web protocols in the 1980s gave us the digital information economy we know today. Let the second era of the internet begin. And I'm thinking here, guys, Ripple is building this quite heavily and quite fast. This article came from June 2017. We still know and we still see the path that they are doing this all in and doing this all for, and that they're all about. I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to bring, guys. Ooh, my days, am I excited. Then something I guess pretty interesting is, has Ripple deleted some articles from their insights page? Or is it just a joke? Or what? This is an article from 2014. It says, Ripple Explained, Medieval Banking with a Digital Twist. And I was pretty damn interested in the title. Medieval banking and with a digital twist. How does that compare to Ripple, like medieval banking? Why? I wanted to read into it. And then it said, Anthony Lewis is the head of business development at Itbit, a Bitcoin exchange based in Singapore. In this article, he explains how Ripple works so that anyone can understand it. and then there's no article. So I'm wondering, did they mean check itbit.com and then press a miscellaneous article in there? Did they never finish this in 2014? Or did they delete it afterwards? Just something I'm putting up here because I don't know. Maybe somebody can check the Wayback Machine to see if they actually had some other text on this page before. Maybe it's not included in the Wayback Machine. I don't really know. I don't think so, but maybe. Because it's a little bit odd, right? Like, if they were referring to check out itbit, then they would have most likely left a link with this article specifically. But it just goes to the itbit.com website. So I don't think so either. So what are they referring to here? What's going on? Where is the rest of the story? I don't know. I find it pretty interesting and pretty damn strange. Then I want to go over into something rather controversial, yet very, very important still. And by the way, if you are enjoying these videos, make sure you press that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. It is from 2017 January, response to China Cert report. I tried to check out the official report or the analysis, but I can't. So I don't know if it's something along, I don't know if I just can't go there. Maybe I should have been in China because it's .cn. Maybe I can't open it from the West. Maybe they didn't want me on there. Maybe they blocked Dusty BC specifically. Could be. I don't even know. What I do know though is that I can't check it. As this link, by the way, that I wanted to view, the PDF that's on there. But you can't download the security report. But basically, in a recent blockchain security report, China Cert claimed that software related to Ripple's open sourced distributed ledger technology has 230 high-risk security vulnerabilities. Unfortunately, since the researchers behind the report did not demonstrate responsible disclosure by contacting Ripple prior to the publication, we do not really know what testing methodology or techniques were used, nor which code repositories were tested. As a result, we were forced to investigate the claim being made after the fact with no guidance from the security researchers and very little context. And I don't know if you guys have ever done research in that sense, but if somebody comes up and says, well, you got 230 high-risk security vulnerabilities, and they're like, well, that's it, you can really not do much with that because you don't know what method of testing they used. And even in hypothesis testing, for example, you got to always specify what type of test you're going to be doing. Otherwise, people can't replicate what you're doing. Same if you're writing a complete scientific report. That's literally, I think, what they're talking about here. If you've ever written a scientific report, you know, if you don't show what you're doing and people can't replicate it, it's kind of wrong, or it's like, at least it's not going to be acceptable. And here with China's report as well, again, consider this is 2017, but still, it's relatively short ago. I mean, 3 years is not that much, depending on your way of viewing these things. In that sense, I'm like, well, they should have at least talked to Ripple about this stuff before publicizing something like that, right? Because why would you? And what was the purpose? That got me thinking. Sometimes I'm thinking here, what if, this is no conclusion, this is just a question. What if China is more on that road where they're like, Ripple, what you're doing, changing this whole world into an internet of value type of standard situation, we don't really buy that. We don't really like that. We don't really want that. Why? Because Ripple, through XRP and through their system, Internet of Value, as I just said, can literally have everything stored on there, like votes, frequent flyer point securities, and intellectual property, things like that. Everything should be easily exchangeable or stored, at least in a way that's just easy. Right? And again, storage, you just kind of see with some quotation marks around it, at least exchanged. I'm sometimes thinking maybe China is not on a level where they want to accept these types of freedoms or these types of innovation. Maybe they want to see it for themselves and get a technology that is built from within. Right? But the only problem is I don't really know how China normally acts when we're talking about revolutionizing technology. Like, do they normally embrace it with open arms? I don't think so, but I don't really know. And reading through this a little bit further, they kind of conclude that they have most likely used some automated analysis tools. And here the conclusion they make is automated analysis tools typically have an extremely high false positive rate of about 99%, which means in this case here, a false positive means it's been claimed positive, or it's been claimed as a vulnerability. It's like, yeah, we got something, but it's false, so it's not really true. When projects that already use this same methodology are tested in this way, the false positive rate nears 100%, since all actual vulnerabilities that could be found in this way have already been found. Again, Ripple recognizes the impact of security researchers and yada, 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 but they do not feel confident in the accuracy of the Cert report, which kind of makes me think, Ripple does have bug bounty programs going on. I mean, Ripple's always trying to help out on this and go further with all of that, which is definitely something quite interesting and always good to have. But another point you guys should hold on to is that maybe not all countries are happy to accept all of this just quite yet. Maybe not all countries really want to revolutionize the web, want to have this better system going on. Maybe. And from a different perspective, if XRP Global Reserve, digital currency, and things like that all works out, China's not going to be happy. Because I believe China has a very good chance of becoming the global reserve currency if the US were to kind of make a couple of mistakes right now. Also depending on who gets the CBDC rolled out the first. A lot of guys have said China is winning on that part already, which means the chance of them getting to such a level of becoming the number one in things is relatively high. Maybe that's why they don't want these types of things. Again, I'm just pointing out a couple of things. I have no conclusions here, but it's just my thoughts. Then, I just scrolled away from it. I don't know which point I wanted to talk about anymore. It was this point. The Fed appears to be increasingly open to that possibility. What possibility? Well, this article here talks about what the Fed wants, the Fed can't have. And it's an article from 2014, and I'm going to be sharing it over on Twitter because I think it's one of the fundamental pieces of what the Fed has been up to and why Ripple can really change the game and will most likely do so. Reading through this, which took 15 minutes or so, it took me a long-ass time because I had to look a couple of things up, maybe even 25 minutes. It's somewhere within that time period because I also took a little bit of a break. Now, checking through this, again, it basically just talks about the Fed having some positive parts in revolutionizing the payment space. All right, that's basically what it comes down to. There are multiple other talks with MP3 and whatever. It's not that important though if you look at the bigger picture from what they say. What they're saying at the bottom here though is like the Fed appears to be increasingly open to the possibility of will innovative outsiders provide the Fed with exactly what it is they want, but can't get from an existing industry. So at this point, there are quite a lot of existing industries, a lot of existing companies that have already been here for years by years that are already pretty good in what they do, like consider Swift. The Fed does not really want to go on to different layers too much if they don't have to, because it's not that normal, right? It's just not something they do too much. However, here, for the Fed to really revolutionize this payment space that they talk more about at the top here, we can see there's a lot of friction right there. There's more and more necessity. Google praises the Fed. Some others are really kind of putting them down. The basic come down and conclusion is like they have to make it better. They have to find out a way, and they are at least looking to be more and more open to kind of outsourcing, or at least looking for some alternative options rather than just the normal. And I instantly thought about Ripple, right? I think that's also why they were posting an article like this on their website. Earlier this month, the Federal Advisory Council, a group that consults with and advises the Fed on all matters within U.S. jurisdiction, concluded that Bitcoin does not represent a threat to economic activity by disrupting traditional channels of commerce. Rather, it could serve as a boon. Now, I don't know exactly what boon means, but I'm assuming it means something positive. Let's see here, boon. A thing that is helpful or beneficial. So yeah, it could serve as a boon. If they already think that about Bitcoin, then think about what they think of XRP. Right? Again, the SEC does not really conclude that just quite yet, but eventually they will. These sentiments align with the views of the St. Louis Fed economist David Andalfato. As history shows over and over, when transaction costs fall, trade expands, which kind of means as well, the lower transactions go, transaction costs at least, the more people will trade, the more people will move around, and the more the internet value will be kind of used and materialized. He also said this was true with the development of canals, railways, etc. I expect the same for the new waves of technology to promote trade in that way. Indeed, Andalfado encouraged the Fed to embrace such technologies in a presentation last month. Quote, well-run central banks should welcome the emerging competition. There is, in my view, room for beneficial coexistence. I mean, beneficial coexistence, look at Ripple exactly. They're not planning to take over everything. They're planning to work together. Andalfado added that together with the Ripple, the Fed's application of a peer-to-peer system could facilitate low-cost payments. In other words, just what the doctor ordered. So maybe we'll see Ripple in that. But guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully we can conclude something together out of all of this. Well, if you did find something which you find interesting and you want to share though with me on Twitter or something that I missed, do that. All right, here it is. Check my Twitter out. Give me a little follow, or maybe send me something by just going to a comment and type in @TheDustyBC, so I will see it. And yeah, maybe I'll give you a shout out. Do that. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video, guys. Take care.